Hello, good evening to you. We're celebrating 25 years of joy. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. You're welcome to Business Live. Coming up, IMF says success of government's interventions to contain COVID-19 will decide if Ghana's economy will go into recession by end of the year. Meanwhile, the IMF's $1 billion interest-free loan to support government's fight against COVID-19 hits the Bank of Ghana's account on Thursday. Plus, the Joy Business Van visits Royal Cedars, which is promoting the consumption of melon seeds, a superfood rich in protein. We'll be telling you more about all these stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for your company. Welcome back to Business Live. Now, the IMF has clarified assertions that Ghana's economy will, as well as other African economies, will go into recession by the end of the year as a result of devastating effects of the coronavirus outbreak. Country representative of the IMF, Albert Tuna Mama, says that that claim is not conclusive for now. He stated earlier on the marketplace that Ghana going into recession will depend on the success of interventions put in place by government to contain the virus.
We forecast growth to be around 1.5% this year in 2020. As you know, there is a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty is driven by non-economic factors, the length of the crisis, the duration, I should say, of the crisis, and how deep this crisis will affect various sectors of the economy. For a lot of countries on the continent, the situation is very much different than what we have here in Ghana. But at the moment, given what we are seeing, our forecast is to have growth to the tune of around 1.5% this year. We will obviously reassess that as we go. And I would also like to point out that this is very much a function of the success of the strategy to fight the virus in Ghana. So, let's see what happens. But I think that the measures that are currently in place, to the extent that they can slow down the virus and that people can stay at home as advised by the health authorities, this will go a long way in, succeeding in fighting.
Meanwhile, the IMF says the $1 billion interest-free loan to Ghana to help fight the coronavirus will be paid in full into the Bank of Ghana's account tomorrow, Thursday, the 16th of April. This was necessary after documentations were finalized in Washington, D.C. earlier this week. IMF country representative Albert Tuna Mama says the influx of funds will shore up the central bank's reserves and serve as a shock absorber in the forex market. He also commented on Ghana's position as a high-debt distressed nation.
The classification of Ghana as being at high risk of debt distress remains the same. I think at the moment, given the forecast that I just gave you, there is no expectation that will change. So I respond, yes, it's still very much the same classification.
Right. Now, we've also raised concerns about pressure on the Ghana cedi. Is this particular, tranche or monies going to make any impact on the position of the cedi?
I would like to first say that, Ghana has a flexible exchange rate regime. So the exchange rate role is to be a shock absorber, especially in circumstances like this one, where emerging markets and frontier economies face tremendous pressure in terms of capital outflows, portfolio outflows from non-resident investors or some other channels. Yes, it's important for central bank to have buffers to more or less reduce this volatility, but the expectation is not to have a peg or to have a fixed regime, fixed exchange rate regime. So to answer your question, yes, the 1 billion will be additional buffers for the central bank. But as I said, the trade-off obviously is between using the buffers to remove to maintain some form of stability, but also letting the exchange rate plays its role of shock absorber.
So the cedi has suffered some serious losses against the dollar over the past weeks. JoyNews has been exploring what could be driving this pressure and what are the options to stabilize the situation.
The local currency, which used to trade at around 5 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos late February, based on quote from some of the major commercial banks, is now selling at around 5 Ghana cedis, 87 pesos. The pressure on the Ghana cedi since early March this year has been influenced by the decision of some offshore investors that bought into our bonds to get out. This is due to the uncertainty that the coronavirus has brought to economies around the world, forcing these businesses to review their investment and placing them in more safe assets like gold. The development has brought some pressure on the Ghana cedi, as government may have to look for some dollar cash to pay off these investors that want to get out of our bonds. A careful look at the last 2 bond results showed that government failed to secure the entire amount targeted. These offshore investors often bring in some dollars through the commercial banks, which goes a long way to boost our reserves, thereby helping to strengthen the local currency. The pressure heightened last week, resulting in the local currency hitting 6 Ghana cedis before it stabilized marginally this week, selling at around 5 Ghana cedis, 87 pesos, after the Bank of Ghana upped its intervention on the market. But there are still ongoing debates whether the central bank, looking at their strong reserve position, should increase the amount of dollar support for the market or allow forces of demand and supply to stabilize the situation. But having crossed the first quarter of this year, which is often described as a pressure period, can we say the challenges of the Ghana cedi are indeed over, and these current happenings should be seen as just normal blips? Well, some say that there are still some troubles ahead. This is because already Cocoa Board has indicated that looking at the current challenges of the global economy because of the coronavirus, they may have some challenges in raising the cocoa loan syndication on time, which often goes a long way to strengthen our reserves. Again, there are projections that foreign direct investment would slow, which might not be good news for the Ghana cedi. Or we should just say that we should trust the Bank of Ghana because they have what it takes to manage the situation, looking at their strong reserve position.
Let's move away from the financials now. Now, Over-the-Counter Medicine Practitioners Association says difficulty in securing personal protective equipment is a major setback in protecting them against COVID-19. Members of the group, who also fall in the exempt category, have had to review the mode of operation due to the pandemic. Despite some progress made, leadership says access to PPEs for improved protection remains a major challenge. Nana Yaujima has more in this report.
At Geopetan Chemicals, a visitor washes his hands thoroughly but is restrained from entering the shop cordoned off by a sellotape. From a distance of approximately 3 meters, the customer and shop attendant transact business. The attendant, Nana Adoma, sanitizes her hands after serving every customer. She wears a mask for enhanced protection. She says those who wear face masks are allowed to come closer because with the face mask covering their mouths, you cannot hear them properly. We also make our customers follow the hand washing protocol. These are part of measures put in place by the association to ensure safety of its members. Nana Adoma fears the same nose mask she has been using for days could cause infection. Like many health workers, access to PPEs for protection has become a major challenge. George Obrieboa is Ashanti Regional President of the association.
One of our challenges is that the PPEs and that we are talking about, as I'm standing here, I don't know where we can get this from.
So they're not on the market?
No. So we are appealing all this also to the regional minister, if he can direct us where we can find some, if not even a gift, we can tell our people to go and buy so that we can protect ourselves and those who are coming to our shops.
Meanwhile, the association has contributed 10,000 Ghana cedis to the COVID-19 fund. The money was received by Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah.
We are very grateful to them, and we are urging anybody who is watching us and listening to us to also contribute his or her widow's mite to support the fight against COVID-19.
From Kumasi for JoyNews, Nana Yaojima reporting.
Now, contact tracing is a key element in the fight against the spread of COVID-19. This requires feet on the ground and other logistic support. But in a world where technology can be leveraged on many processes, Ishirado has been speaking to Ghanaian tech entrepreneur Christian Asante, who has developed an app that can help improve Ghana's contact tracing efforts as more and more innovations emerge as part of the fight against coronavirus.
With the community app is actually one part of a whole solution that's actually originated as a tool for communities to work with emergency services. In effect, what it does is when a person uses the app and presses an SOS alert, for instance, it informs every member of the community in a 2-mile radius, as well as the authorities. So if you have the police, the private security, and any other emergency services personnel in that 2-mile radius, they get the alert and attend to you. And in that alert, it gives them the directions to where the person is. So in effect, if you think about it, it gives us the opportunity to report an event where in the past we may have to make a call, sit on the telephone for a number of minutes, try to give directions, and get back to the solution to get the security forces to come to our aid. In this particular one, it gives us the opportunity to report unanimously, and in 5 seconds, all that is done. And the neighbors get it as well, so they can come to you. On top of that, the same applies for fire emergencies, as well as medical emergencies. And in the medical emergency, it is even more unique, because what it does is informs hospitals and clinics within your 2-mile radius. Now, you don't have to stop a taxi and go all the way to the known hospital, which might be miles away, and in so doing, drive past 50 or 60 clinics where you could have had first contact and first service. So the solution itself was designed to help us in this environment where we perhaps don't have the best response teams because of lack of resources, and to help communities play an active role in attending to such emergencies. So that was the main cause of this Buddha Community App. And of course, it also had the opportunity or the functionality for third-party reporting. And so if you had a flood and you reported it, it's designed to go to a specific agency, let's say NADMO, within your area. If you move to Tema, it will know you are in Tema, and it will report in Tema, the local NADMO office. If you saw an accident and you reported it, it would inform all the clinics, all the police, and all the emergency services that need to attend to their accident within that locality. And it helps put this function at the local level and at a community level. So that was the main bulk of what Buddha Community does.
That's a brilliant idea and a great concept at that. Is this local to Ghana, or can this be used anywhere in the world?
Interestingly, since it's been developed, it's been used more in the developed world than in Ghana. We have it being used in areas in the UK, we have it being used in areas in South Africa, Sierra Leone, we have certain areas that are using it. In Ghana, there are communities. It's been taken more by the neighborhood communities. So if you look at the Adiringano area, New Aboagye area and stuff like that, they are using it locally to report crimes and to help the community attend to emergencies. But we haven't actually rolled it or been had the opportunity to use it nationally in Ghana, whereas we think that might help with our current environment and our resources that we don't have.
As we battle, the pandemic on our own shores here in Ghana, we've seen quite a number of innovations, from the hands-free wash basin to Academic City, Dr. Mark Baganlori and his team coming up with a number of interventions. They're trying to build a ventilator at very low cost using very ingenious and innovative concept to achieve that. There are lots of different things happening. And I believe you've done something remarkable with this Boda Community app. Can you explain how it works? What is it that you've done?
So with regards to what we've done, we very early on identified that contact tracing was going to be key when it comes to Africa in particular. Firstly, because we do not have the resources to attend on a large scale as it was done in China or as it's been done in the US or in the UK. So we sat down to figure out how best we could use other resources to augment the little resources that we have. And in so doing, we came up with 3 major components. The first bit was to look at reporting the issue, reporting the event, reporting the symptoms. And we already have the base in place in terms of Boda Community. So we just utilize that as an add-on where citizens can easily press the app and we know where the citizen is. That's linked automatically to a local center. So if we look at regional coordination centers or even entities within districts or within towns, those can be set up to receive the alerts and then proceed from there.
This is watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back with Business Van. Business Live. Now, as we try to curb the coronavirus pandemic, it is important that we stay healthy. Now, staying healthy also means eating healthy. Entrepreneur Mildred Akotia is promoting the consumption of melon seeds, which are known to be rich in proteins. The Joy Business Van visited her production facility, and here's our experience.
The sound of a milling machine grinding melon seeds. We call it here in Ghana agushi. The protein-rich seeds used in stews and soups. Now imagine agushi stew with smoked fish and some boiled yam. That definitely should be a treat. At least Mildred Akotia agrees. She's founder and CEO of Royal Seeders, a startup that innovatively processes and packages the ground seeds as well as roasted peanuts. Mildred initially wanted to pursue medicine, but when the opportunity never came, she turned to another passion: food.
I observed that West Africa was home to a lot of amazing superfoods. And these superfoods are very little known to the rest of the world. And only because we talk very little about them, we don't make as much noise about them as the Western world do theirs. So I said to myself, why don't I then go on a journey that would bring out some obscure superfoods in West Africa and transform them into globally recognized brands.
She quit working as a food safety regulator to start her own business in this shipping container transformed into a production facility. But why melon seeds?
I picked agushi because I thought that the consumption is so high in West Africa. However, it's almost becoming like a lost crop of Africa, meaning that there's very little research done with regard to agushi. There's very little promotion on agushi, but it is so nutritional and actually a powerhouse for nutrients. So my flagship product I started was ground agushi. Melon seeds, I call it the little miracle seeds. Agushi, you won't believe, is 32%. It's about 32% protein, and that is huge and massive. It's naturally cholesterol free because it's of plant origin, It has very little carbohydrates, so for vegans and vegetarians and those on a low carb diet, agushi is just perfect for you.
The melon seeds are sourced locally and sometimes in neighboring countries.
Raw materials come in very dirty from suppliers and from the farms. And so you have to spend a good amount of time cleaning raw materials out and taking out a lot of extraneous materials like twigs and stones and fine sand, leaves and all sorts of dead parts of insects and all that. Once we've done all the sorting and brought the raw materials to the standard that we want, we dry them, we have dehydrators for all that. And then we have our own milling machines that we use to mill the agushi. After milling, we allow the agushi to cool and then we start doing the packaging.
What makes Mildred's products stand out is the packaging. Agushi powder is usually sold in the markets in measuring containers, but now can be found in major supermarkets thanks to Royal Cedars.
We have an ever-increasing urban population, so I thought that, targeting middle class to high-end class, targeting the export markets will be a good thing to go for. And the whole idea is that we want to make West African foods famous, and we want to give them a good brand image so that wherever we find them, they can be comparable with the Western products.
Gradually, Royal Cedars products are catching the eye of the public. She's added roasted peanuts to the food items she processes. Beyond processing food, Mildred also has to manage her business and strategize on how to meet her business goals. But what has a 3-year journey been like?
So we can talk about some successes, like somebody picks up agushi and thinks that this is not made in Ghana, but you tell the person this is made in Ghana and it's made by us. And I think that is a good success. For me, that's priceless. The fact that you're able to brand a West African ethnic product like this, that is comparable with any other Western product. I think that is priceless.
Ultimately, Mildred wants her products to hit the export market.
We are introducing more products, so we are always looking out and exploring how we can increase our product offering. We are introducing roasted cashew in a few months. So yes, we actually have peanut butter that that is in the development stage. So it hasn't gone too commercial, but we want to see how we can stabilize the peanut butters and get it commercial and be on the shelves.
Mildred Akotia is definitely a woman on a mission to transform food processing here in Ghana and make an impact across the world.
All right, so catch another edition of the Joy Business Van next Wednesday on Business Live. Now, just before we go, there's some developing news from the petroleum sector, the downstream sector of the petroleum industry, and we are hearing that the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has on Wednesday, 15th April, received the resignation from office of Asante Beku, the Managing Director of the Tema Oil Refinery. This was after he submitted his resignation letter dated the same day, 15th April, to the President. President Akufo-Addo has accepted the resignation and duly notified the Board of Directors of TOR of this development. The President wished him well in his future endeavors. You can get more updates on this development and, of course, other business stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. That's it for Business Life. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. Have a good evening.